I must make this clear to everyone. This is scripted, so my thoughts are pre-written out, and because I'm thinking on the spot, that'll take much more time. This is written down on a Google Doc, so nonetheless, here we go. Welcome to my Link Crew reviewers, and welcome to the global audience that will be watching this video. This video will be much slower than our standard 150% and go type of videos that I'd release on my Instagram or YouTube. I need to do this so I can convey nuances and talk about this like a mini interview. So here we go. This is an extended version of the questionnaire that I was given. So, welcome to the school staff, welcome to students who are watching, and welcome to the rest of the local and global audience who is watching this right now. So, we're going to begin with the first interviewee-like question. What makes me want to be a link leader? The question is the perfect one to answer. It's not an idea of wanting exactly, but one that's of moral necessity in the way that I think. I feel the morality of wanting to become a leader because of what I have observed within the school system and how many newcomers need to realize that some traps that I faced, I want to make sure that they don't face those troubles that I did. So, to extend our little tangent here, there's a natural part of friend groups in this high school in that many people like to move around often, and that's okay. But when a newcomer tries to join that exact same friend group, expecting stability and a new place, for example, it may be great at first, but the next day, even if they asked where that friend group was, they may not have an answer because people naturally move around, and sometimes people are busy, so they may not answer. That same friend group might subconsciously think that the new person gets it, even though they know absolutely nothing. There are many people out here who expect to stay in the same place, and that mismatches with the fluidity of what I call social play tectonics that I say happens within this high school. When I barely entered the social game as a sophomore, I realized a lot of people, as I said, move around to follow their own interests, to follow the interests of their friends, and that's okay. But I expected to be reminded of where they'd go, for example, if I were to join them, though not a lot of them told me. And the thing is, everybody's busy, everybody's got schedules, and sometimes I may not even be told as an example. And that's one example that I would observe that even many freshmen or others would realize. If a freshman is expecting to stay at the same place, then they should know that a lot of friend groups out here may not do that same thing. The goal as a leader in any purpose, not just Link Crew, is to let others know of the hidden social realities like these. Where others fail to let others know, I'll call this structural rejection. It's not the type of rejection you'd see in a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, but rather it's a way that a freshman might end up taking a lot of time trying to find a friend group that they know they may never find because that given friend group simply moves around often. And obviously, as coordinators of any role, especially for Link Leader, we'll be doing the logistical stuff. We'll be preparing the tables, we'll be making the shirts perfect maybe for our next go, and maybe all the in-person stuff that you gotta do. But as a leader, the social things that need to be taught matter as much too. To give the generic answer, I want to be a Link Crew leader because I want to let others know that hidden realities occur, that others may not see those given realities. And it's also a way to help them to transition into high school, not with comfort by itself, but with a piece of knowledge that they can know about what goes on within the social game of high school. I'll link the social problem that I've talked about in the description below. To the school staff and the global audiences watching, this is an informal channel. I'll analyze in one video, but maybe in another one I might talk like Obi-Wan as if I'm civil all over again. I am morally obligated to become a leader in any way, from either editing this video, maybe talking in person, or maybe in this scope as a link leader to help other freshmen ease, and obviously anyone who is afraid, to also hand down knowledge. I know these realities now as a result that I faced them before, talking about it socially, and I know that I must share this knowledge with others so that they don't fall in the same traps that I've fallen in before. The next question. What qualities would a good leader need to have? And this is a great question for me. The qualities of a good leader who is effective also applies on paper. Yes, charisma is important. Good talking skills and communication skills are important. Maybe editing skills if you're that type of person. Or maybe be a social butterfly. That's important too. Be respectful and be responsible. These are very important for the firsts of interactions and generally what it is talking about socially or for any reason when it comes to talking with people. But the deal breaker qualities are not a universal list. They're what each and every person has in their own mind and in the way that they think. From my perspective, the qualities that I would see most important are integrity. If someone says something wrong, you must assert the boundary and say to them that it's wrong, even if it's uncomfortable to a local group. You must also have humility in that no one is fallible, you yourself are not fallible either. But most importantly, I see observance as a very important trait. It's important to talk as much, but also to observe and analyze as much. These questions, for example, what happens if I join this group? What if I do this action now? How will this affect me later? What social problems are occurring right now in this school that I could maybe journal or note about or maybe share with other people? It's also about analytical thinking. If I do an action today and repeat it, how much am I gaining versus how much am I wasting? If I don't fix issues with a given friend group, then what is my long-term trajectory with them? Just as much if I'm wasting or gaining when it comes to other things such as like using money. Will I let a friend group die because of superficial drama, or will we actually try to fix it? That's why I think long-term here is that it's important to retain integrity long-term. Now, If you're in a friend group, well, let's say, for example, you notice someone coming in and out often from day to day. You don't know them, so it's the goal to ask them what is happening. I say that in that this is another form in high school of social responsibility. I say observance in this goal here is also important to becoming any authentic leader for anyone. Or looks obsessive in questioning how everything goes. Even sociality in high school becomes very crucial information that I believe is very important to newcomers, especially as a link crew leader or even just as a regular student. And yes, sure, to everybody, I got some charisma. I got the nice editing skill. I do have a backlog of old FNAF gaming videos. If you guys want to watch that, and maybe the reflection videos too. But the skill itself is not my identity. It's a reflection of the story that I am writing, which is literally my life. And I am the character, director, editor, and the historian all at once. And it does kind of get tiring playing that role too. I've talked about these in my reflection videos, so I'll link a few in the description later on. Now we're going to move on to the next question. What kind of student do you think needs most support at our school? Skipping out from the global audience here, of course, many would answer freshmen in this question, and that is correct in my view. Obviously, yes. But what I add here is that the people that also need the most support in school are freshmen too, but most importantly, are the ones that are the most invisible, freshmen or not. I've been beginning to observe that during PE class in free time, during any class time where someone sits alone, or even in any real life sitting should anyone be alone or stand alone. These are the types of people that I would believe need help. To everyone watching, global audience, or maybe the school staff, imagine a time that you saw someone was sitting alone, or maybe you saw someone was being a little too socially active than you think they usually were. I argue that we do need to help these people, but when it comes to it, they're mostly invisible, very invisible from day to day, even though they're there. So our goal here is that all of these people were freshmen before. Some people we may never be able to help, and obviously I admit that. Although looks are not everyone just because a person sits alone or does this or that. My goal here is to find and talk to as many people, especially with freshmen, and let them know what's going on before they eventually become invisible within the school system. As I said, even if you become a link leader, after about the 1,000 students that get processed within the school, eventually we'll graduate too. We're not going to be able to help them. So our chance right now is important. So we give them important knowledge that we give, and not just comfort, obviously. Link crew is one of the most crucial chances to not necessarily catch these people, but tell them or treat them with help before they continue their years forward. The ones who need help, as I believe, are the most invisible, like the ones I've been talking about. And link crew is one of those crucial times to send in our help, send in the advice, send it in before it becomes too late, before they disappear into the next thousands of school students within this high school. And it connects to my last point, observance, like who's sitting alone, what's going on here, what's going on there. Another question. What other activities am I involved in outside school? Well, not really as much of a long tangent answer unlike the others. I am involved in video editing like this one right here, for production obviously, and for the basic stuff, yes. I love to bike, I do play casual volleyball even though I don't have friends, which I wish, but I do participate in church activities, but I was an altar server for a long time for any of my Christian fans and people watching right now, though I did have to leave because of scriptural restrictions. And I do reflection videos like these often. I very much often every day. And it is not school sponsored, but it's more of a personal ledger to reality itself. So think of every day as a little hobby. Instead of trying to make content, the day is the content. The day is what is learned. The day are the lessons of what is learned. Another thing is that anything other to let us know. I know that reviewers who are watching this or reading my review, since it's a little bit sped up just for time, you guys may think this is AI. And I absolutely acknowledge why many of you guys may think that this is AI. But I reassure you, this is not AI stuff. It's just my thoughts. They're recombined, remade into a script that is made then into a video. Speaking about human complexity is messy, but to come out with it on the spot, that's even more messier. So it takes a little more time than a typical video. And I do admit this is a little more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but I do believe that reviewers still need to see the true humanity, I admit. To reassure you guys, to local viewers, to the global viewers, to even school staff that's watching this right now. If you have doubts about this, if you have doubts about me as a person, on your own time, since this channel is mostly informal and not school related, you can view the reflections that I've done in the past. This is something that I have been doing for a long time, and that this is not AI, but this is a collection of the things that I've experienced over time and the things that I genuinely want to teach to others, especially freshmen.